Yes, that's right, it's Joe here for Joyrider TV. Today we're on board the FX1, the 17-foot single-hander. Bit of mast rotation, lovely. And what we're going to be looking at is how fast does the FX1 go on different points of sail. So it's probably about 16 to 18 knots of wind just now. So we're going to start off by taking the boat upwind, see how fast it goes. Then we'll take a reaching course, see how fast it goes. And then we'll take a downwind course, firstly without the Spinnaker, see how fast it goes. And then we'll see how fast it goes downwind with the Spinnaker, both on and off the trapeze. And then as a treat, we'll finish off with seeing what is the fastest we can get it to go. Lovely old job. So we're starting off on the upwind point of sail. To see how fast we're going, we're going to be using the telemetry from Telemetry Overlay. And so I'm trapezing just about level with the dagger boards, trying to keep the mainsail cranked. We could do with getting the top of the sail a bit flatter in this wind, so just going to try a bit more mast rotation. So I've got the mast rotation spanner bar pointing just behind the dagger board, which seems to be about right. So the sail is a bit flatter now. Right, we've just got some windsurfing traffic. All right, let's see if we can get it going a bit better. We're certainly not breaking any records at the moment. Okay, so that was the speed upwind with us pointing. Now if we don't try pointing quite so much and just foot off the wind a little bit. So we've got that hull flying nicely there, less wetted surface, less noise as well. So there we go. I think we're just pinging in at about 10 knots, which doesn't strike me as a great speed, but it will certainly get us there. Okay, so before we take it off on the reach, I'm just going to have to put the dagger boards up. So I'm just going to pop in for that. Okay, so a bit of dagger board up there. So now we're heading off on the reach. Okay, so a bit of a gust coming, getting the traction from the Zero Shoes Aqua Sport X. Here we go, so a nice beam reach there. Nothing too spicy. We're just sitting at about 15 knots on the loco sys. Of course, Telemetry Overlay may have slightly different things to say about that. So just playing the main sheet, just to try to keep this hull just lifted. There we go, 17 knots there. All right, so the next leg we're gonna go for is downwind, but without the Spinnaker, without the trapeze. So, I'm going to come back into the boat, let the mast rotation off a little bit more. Okay, and we're going for a traditional catamaran sailor's downwind leg with the apparent wind at 90 degrees. Now on a boat like this, we can't expect very much out of her on the downwind without the kite up. So we have got a bit of a gust coming. We'll just see what she'll give us in that gust on this one sail downwind broad reach. All right, just uncleating the main sheet for security. Okay, one way that I've always told people, how do you know if it's too windy to put the Spinnaker up? I tell them, if you're on a downwind course like this and it really doesn't seem very exciting then the answer is yes, you should put the Spinnaker up. Okay, so we're going to go for our sitting in Spinnaker run first. So just bearing away. And on this boat, taking it very deep downwind for the hoist, because we haven't got so many hands to steer the boat. And if we're very deep downwind, in theory, the boat should keep going in the same direction. Oh, as I always forgot before, crank the main in before hoisting the kite. Just got a bit of a wine glass in there. That wine glass would usually come from a bad drop before. Oh, we have got a bit of a twist in the tack there, but unfortunately we're just going to have to go with it. Woohoo! All right, there's the first gust. So I'm getting back as far as I can. Oh, well, she seems to have come to life a little bit here, which is nice, because she didn't seem too lively before. That's for sure. Okay, and that'll do for that downwind, sitting in. So just going to drop the kite, so turning it more downwind. Take up the slack. Okay, so next hoist, hopefully that twist in the tack will have sorted itself out, remembering to pull the main sheet in before hoisting this time. All right, so I'm going out on the trapeze first, and then I'm gonna put some power on. All right, so here we are. I'm getting to the back. Here we go. This is what she likes. Okay, bit of a gusty wind, bit more wind coming up. Those auto ratchets from Alan are really chewing well. There's very little load in the Spinnaker, even just playing it with one hand. Probably a bit too far back on the trapeze, but just trying not to trip the bow and go right down to Davy Jones's locker, because there's nothing in there that we want. There we go, now she's going. All right. Okay, so there we go. What do we get there? I don't know. All right, telemetry overlay will let us know. So coming in for the drop. Turning downwind first for the drop. Taking up the slack and retrieval. Sitting on the tiller extension. Trying to get it all in before the boat starts turning upwind. All right, and there we are. Okay, so we're upwind again. Just a little bit later on, the wind's just become a bit more steady. And we seem to have a slightly better average speed just here. About just over 10 knots. I think possibly you could say that the FX1 is a more competitive boat in a lighter wind, where you can really utilise all of the sail area, because just being single-handed does seem like we're getting overpowered quite easily, especially on this windward leg. Okay, so as promised, we have got one thing left to do, and it looks like we are being hunted down by a 16 at the moment. and there are certain things we just can't allow. I would expect the 16 to be quicker, but in this next gust, we're going to take her down the mine shaft and see what sort of speed we can get out of her. Let's hope she holds together. Oh my word, I would like to make the trapeze a bit longer, but she's in a bit of a pickle. All right, so we're going to have to stay at this length. All right, so I'm standing as far back as I can go. Here we go. Really hanging off the back. Still not a top speed yet of the run. Just have to remember I can't go any further back on the trapeze, because if I try doing that, I'm going to run out of boat and actually be standing on thin air. I kind of get the feeling that a bit more mast rake could really help us keep these bows out a bit more. Okay, but she does feel pretty good. Just got a bit of a... All right. Gonna try easing the traveller a bit so I get a bit more main sheet on, see how that works, whether that takes a bit of the load off the bow. Try to keep it a bit flatter, see if we can get more out of these flat bottom hulls. Get effectively planing. Oh, we have notched it up a little bit there. Over 18 knots now. That's pretty good, I think. I'd like to think. There we go, a bit more wind. But still, she's not opening up. We're still mowing the lawn quite heavily here. And I feel if we did try to give her any more, we'd just stick the nose in. Yeah, as I sheet in more, the bow is definitely going down. So I think we have, woohoo! Okay, bow definitely going down there. We've definitely reached what we can reach with this current setup. Woohoo! There's protography. Shoots first, ask questions later, as always. Right, just gonna nudge it up a little bit just to have a safer approach back in. Okay, so there you go. Nothing too groundbreaking there with the FX1 in terms of boat speed. So thanks very much for watching. See you soon with some more on Joyrider TV. If you want to see the FX1 sailing in a lot of wind, check out this one just here. Oh yes. Woo!